Welcome to the Idaho Fishing Report. Whether you are planning just a couple of hours or a full weekend of fishing, this is your one-stop place for all the information you need to plan your trip. It's all right here, from weather forecasts and reservoir levels to the latest stocking reports and expert advice. And now, the host of Idaho Fishing Report, Jeff Cullers.
Well, hello and welcome indeed to the Idaho Fishing Report. I am Jeff Cullers. This is your report for the weekend of October 5th, 2023. And can you believe it? It is the end of our third season here on the Idaho Fishing Report. I'm blown away. What started off as a class project when I went back to school has turned into a 3-year and ongoing podcast. And thanks to all of you that have listened and just made this so much fun to be a part of. I can't wait for next year. We're going to have so much going on. Jordan Rodriguez joins us this week and talks about what you can do after the end of the Idaho Fishing Report and come along with us. All right, so stick around. Reservoir level, boat ramp information, all that good stuff. But before we get into that, I got some updates for you here. I am the home team announcer for Homedale. We have our last football game on Friday night. So if you're out in that area, come out and say hi. And then the dates are wrong on this. October 14th, O'Connor Fieldhouse. Come watch roller derby. It's your last chance this year to watch roller derby here in the Treasure Valley as Beat City has a reunion bout. It's going to be a doubleheader. It's going to be a lot of fun. Doors open at 5. The first game starts at 6. You can watch it at goodboystudios.com. Just click on the roller derby link and you'll be able to get right there. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Before we get too much further into this, if you want to follow me along in the off season. All right, let us start off as we do with our regional update each and every week. We're going to start over in the Magic Valley because, well, why not? That's a good place to start. Weather there, sunset's going to be around 7:10 p.m., so getting this laid out Friday. So I'm going to give you Saturday through Friday of next week. And really Friday of next week's really what you want to know about. You'll find that out when we get to our moon phase, but it's going to be a great weekend. It's going to be in the 80s, low 80s, mind you, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. 12% chance of rain on Monday, but the weekend looks really nice. Mild wind, single digits, sunny. Now the middle part of the week is going to be kind of gnarly. You're going to see some chances of rain, 24% on Wednesday with 20-mile-an-hour winds over in the Magic Valley area. If you're going to hang out in the Treasure Valley, let's start over in Mountain Home. And I'll tell you, we went to CJ Strike last weekend. It was a full moon. It was supposed to be great fishing, but that front came through with that low pressure system, and the fish just shut down. It was windy. It was rainy. But we still had a good time out there, hung out by the campfire and just kind of chilled out and relaxed. We needed to get a good camping trip in. But this weekend's going to be much better. Saturday and Sunday, low to mid 80s. It's just going to be beautiful. 9 to 12 mile an hour winds. Going to see 82 on Monday with 13 mile an hour winds. The temperature's really going to drop on Tuesday. If you live in the Treasure Valley, you've probably seen the weather report. It's going to be nice through Monday, and then Tuesday's going to hit us with those mid 60s. Really more of what we expect. Kind of seeing this, this Indian summer, if you will, over the weekend. But we're going to see mid 60s to low 60s through that part of the week. Friday looks really nice over in the Mountain Home, Bruno area, 70 degrees during the morning on Friday, and 13 mile an hour winds. But I think we can live with that. Over in Boise, sunsets around 7:17 p.m. Again, low to mid 80s through the weekend. No chance of rain. Same story on Monday, 79. Then we're going to see it dip down into, it's going to get as low as 59 degrees on Wednesday with morning showers, 38% chance of rain. So the middle of the part of the week is going to be kind of nasty for the weather. Friday's going to be 69 degrees in the Boise market. Only a 3% chance of rain. And like I said, we got that new moon kind of rolling in. So that should be pretty decent fishing next weekend. I do want to talk a little bit about next weekend because with this being the last show of the year, I want to get you into one last good fishing report. So the early forecast is looking good for the following weekend. All right, one last time up the double nickel to the Cascade area. Temperatures over the weekend, they're low to mid 70s. Going to be nice. 24% chance of rain on Monday there. 75% chance of rain on Tuesday. 58% chance on Wednesday. You're going to see highs in the upper 40s on Tuesday and Wednesday. So really going to be kind of cool up there. Overnight, it's going to get below freezing on Wednesday. It's going to be 31 degrees, 32 on Thursday. Friday's going to clean up nicely, 62 degrees for your high, only partly cloudy. Again, not much chance of rain up in that area as over the weekend, but Cascade generally does get quite a bit of moisture up that area. All right, let's head over to that Oregon-Idaho border. Sunset there will be around 7:18 Mountain Time. It's going to be in the low 80s over the weekend. 2 to 3 percent chance of rain. Monday, you're going to see a stronger chance of rain as that storm starts to eke in to the Idaho from there. 24% chance of rain on Monday, 57 and 58% chance of rain on Tuesday and Wednesday. It's really going to dip down 59 degrees for your high, 42 degrees for your low over that period of time. Friday and going into the next weekend looks super, super nice. It's going to be 69 degrees on Friday, 3% chance of rain, and very, very little chance of winds. And we generally don't see it much out in that area. All right, that's going to do it for your regional update. Stick around. Jordan Rodriguez from Tightlines 208 joins us next. For one last time in 2023, joining us as he does each and every week with his expert tips and advice, owner and creator, journalist Jordan Rodriguez. Jordan, how are you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm doing great, Jeff. Thanks for having me on. We got one last hurrah here for the season.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Jordan, if you don't know, if this is your first time listening to the show, he owns Tightlines 208. Everything that you want to know about fishing, he does classes, he does one-on-one teaching, and we're going to talk a little bit about that towards the end. But each and every week, Jordan joins us and gives us an expert advice and some hot tips. Jordan, what is that Tightlines 208 hot tip of the week?
Yeah, so I'm going to keep it pretty simple this time and just say, I know the way you schedule these podcasts is kind of around the bulk of kind of quote unquote fishing season for, or at least what a lot of people think of as fishing season. So my hot tip for this last episode of the year is just keep on fishing, right? Keep
Amen.
on fishing throughout the fall and into the winter months. There's just so many good opportunities. I know that some folks are more fair weather, and that's okay. But for those who are willing to, bundle up or deal with a little more, weather-wise, there's a lot of opportunity. There's fewer people out. We got football going. We've got hunting season going. So the fishing crowds do tend to thin out, but that can really be to your advantage if you keep going. Throughout the fall and winter months. Couple opportunities in particular. This is my favorite time of year, really from like now through about March to fish the Boise River. So anybody who lives in the Treasure Valley, you're never more than 15, 20 minutes away from the Boise. The flows are super ideal for the most part, fall through winter and into the early spring. And it's a great time to catch rainbows, but also the big browns. This is the time of year where I see, the most browns getting caught. So that's an opportunity there. Other rivers, I think that same general pattern holds true for most of our rivers. Is if you're willing to go and fish, the conditions are actually more ideal in these months than they are in the spring and summer, just with runoff and flood control and irrigation patterns, all those things. Bass fishing is outstanding right now. That is more of a short-term thing, depending on weather, usually lasts through most of October and then kind of starts to cool down as the temperatures cool down. But you still have at least a couple of good weeks of awesome, awesome bass fishing. The fish are super hungry, super active as they can kind of sense the days getting shorter and the
Mm.
temperatures cooling down. That gosh, we better eat as much as we can while we can. As more of a warm water fish and what their metabolism does. So those are just a couple things. And then, of course, as we get on through later into fall, there'll be opportunities like steelhead and salmon season. Those are, unique opportunities that we're fortunate to have here in Idaho. So those are things that you can kind of, plan a weekend getaway and a trip to go and experience those types of things. And then, of course, as we get into the true wintertime, we've got ice fishing. And I think the listeners and those who have read any of my articles and stuff know that that's a big passion for me. I love ice fishing season. Maybe we'll come on and do a little special one-off show like we've done in the past to talk ice fishing.
I like it.
But yeah, lots of opportunities, starting in usually December into January, February. Those are kind of the 3 months that you can really count on. Although some years we've got ice fishing all the way through March and I believe into April, even this past year. So it just kind of depends on the weather patterns. But again, a very different and unique Idaho fishing experience, almost completely separate, if you will, from open water fishing on the rivers or fishing out of a boat. But it is fishing nonetheless. You do need some warm gear and at least a couple kind of specialty items to get you started. If you're interested in ice fishing and kind of wanting to see how it works and learn the ropes, I do teach a class in January every year that includes going out on the frozen lake and kind of seeing what it's all about. So you can then make a decision if it's something you want to pursue and invest in. So, long story short, I know we will resume our regular programs and coming on and sharing the hot tip of the week sometime in the spring. But between now and then, certainly don't let those rods sit in the corner and collect dust. Between the Boise River, between the salmon steelhead opportunities, between maybe some late season bass stuff, or maybe some hard water fishing once we get some frozen lakes. Any and all of those opportunities are going to be there for you. So keep on fishing and keep those lines tight.
Absolutely. It's funny. It is truly an angler's paradise year round here if you're willing to expand, right? If typically like me growing up in the South, most of what we did was bass fishing or cat fishing, and it was pretty much that's all you did. Here you have such a variety of things that you can do if you're willing to get on out of your comfort zone. For me, it's typical bass fishing, and but if you're willing to get out and learn some new stuff, then it is truly an angler's paradise here, 365 days a year.
It really is. And, if you're going to make an investment, just make an investment in some nice, lightweight, but very warm, clothing that you can wear that's not going to be too bulky. And, that's really the key is if you can stay comfortable in wet or cold weather here in these fall and winter months, it just makes all the difference. And that's, it could be what you wear when you go stomp around on the river, and it can be your base layer stuff if you get into ice fishing. But that's really, without that, it can be kind of miserable. So, invest in something nice that's going to keep you warm, and it just opens up so many opportunities. And like I said, a lot of people go running for the exits. A lot of people aren't out this time of year, or as we get, especially into the colder months, they won't be out there that were there in June, July, August. And you can really have a big piece of river to yourself, have stretches of entire fisheries to yourself, and that, as we all know, is not often the case these days
Yeah.
when you're fishing in the spring and summer months. So glass half full. I'm a glass half full type of guy, and that's definitely the upside of fishing in the wintertime.
I like it. And we were talking a little bit pre-talk here before we came on the air. I had gone fishing this weekend, and we got one last camping trip down at CJ Strike and at the Idaho Power Cottonwood campground there, which I love. Um, and it was pretty deserted. There was a couple of people camping around us. There were very few boats on the water. Didn't have a whole lot of luck because the front came through. But you hit the nail on the head. I told my wife, I'm like, I'm not used to being on CJ and seeing this few boats on the water because that's usually a place where you see a lot of boats. But yeah, good stuff. Well, you kind of tipped your hat there a little bit. We're gonna kind of wrap this up, our last show, but I believe you have an open class right now, and then maybe talk about what you do in the off season. You talked about the ice fishing class a little bit, off season from the show anyway. You are not off, but talk about your outstanding class. One of my favorite ones that I've taken with you.
Yeah, so our next class that we have currently open for registrations is fillet and fry, and this is a really unique class. It's almost like a fishing class hybridized with a cooking class is what we do. So we are at Jump in downtown Boise. It's a beautiful facility, super cool in there. If you haven't had a chance to check that out, I'd say that alone is almost worth the price of admission to get into that building downtown in the evening, and it's all lit up. So that's happening October 24th. It's a Tuesday night, and we do fillet and fry. So what happens with this class is we meet at Jump. There's a big kitchen area. That's where we're going to be holding the class. And you come in, and I'm going to explain and demonstrate how to fillet a fish. So we're talking, taking boneless, skinless fillets off of a fish. We'll be working with trout, but really the methods applied can be used for any kind of fish that you catch around here, whether that's crappie or perch or kokanee salmon. It's all pretty similar stuff. So we're going to demonstrate, walk you through the safety tips, all the things, talk a little bit about sustainable harvest, what kinds of fish are better to keep and eat than others. And then we're going to turn you loose on a fish. So everybody's going to have their own fish and their own fillet knife and an opportunity to get in there and do it. Of course, I'll be there to help and assist as needed, but it's really, whether you've done this a few times or no times, or lots of times, this is your chance to get in there and fillet a fish. And once we've done all that, we cook them up and eat them. So dinner is included as part of the class. We'll have fresh fish and chips immediately following the filleting and frying, of course. And as you mentioned, it's just a super fun time. You're going to meet lots of really cool people, and learn a skill that, if you're an angler or if you're married to one, it's just a really useful skill to have, almost regardless of what point of life you're at, whether you're young, you keep it with you for always, or if you're retired and you just started fishing, you'll keep it with you for the duration. And it's just a really useful skill. So fillet and fry happening Tuesday, October 24th from 6 to 8 p.m. And it includes dinner, and it includes the knife that you use. You get to take home with you as well. So it's just a really fun time, and registrations are open now at tightlines208.com.
And that is a cool knife. And my wife and I went last year, and we have two of those now, and we love them. We just used one of them the other day. And, we took that class last year, and one of the things that really fascinated me was you had a lot of first time people, but there were a couple of people there. It wasn't their first time at fish and fillet because they just enjoyed the social aspect of it. And we did too. I think we, as much as we enjoyed, learning some of your techniques that we didn't know, just communicating with some of the other folks, and we actually made friends with someone from there and still keep in touch with them. So it's a great class, listeners. If you haven't got out and you're looking for something a little different to do, like Jordan said, even if you already know how to fillet, it's fun to get out there and do it and just meet some new folks. All right, so that's
Yeah,
open. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
it is. It's open now. Yeah, I would say, like, of the classes that I offer, this is like the one. It almost doesn't matter what your interest level in fishing is. It's just a really fun time. And this is one I have people do, like, as a date night, or with their kid or their neighbor or their friend. It's just like a fun night out. And if you like fishing and you're going to be doing a lot of filleting, then that's just the cherry on the sundae. So yeah, hope to see some listeners there. It's always fun, and to, like you said, to meet new people, and it's just a really good time down there at Jump. And shout out to Jump for hosting. It's just a great venue, and they're always super great to us at Tightlines 208. So appreciate working with Jump.
All right, and so the winter's coming up. You got some stuff going on there, and just to remind the listeners, just make sure you follow Jordan on Instagram. Go to Tightlines 208. Keep an eye out for the classes. I believe if they all send you an email, you'll email folks when the next, as classes open up or new things happening, you'll email that out. I know I look forward to getting mine in my email.
Yes, sir. We do that, and it's we do about one class a month, and I always promise people there's no spam. You're not going to get stuff that you don't want. Just whenever there's a new class, you just get a notification, and it's actually a priority notification. The mailing list knows about the classes before anyone else, so make sure that you get priority notification and you can get in there. Some of these classes do sell out. Some have, kind of a limited capacity, including fillet and fries that way, because you can only fit so many people around the island. So yeah, it's, check out the website, shoot me an email. We'll get you on the notification list. I am planning to host a class at Idaho Rod and Reel in November. I'll have more details about that shortly. We usually take December off. People just, traveling and doing family stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, holidays. But then come January, we're right back at it with the ice fishing class. And that again is one of my faves. And again, almost one that it doesn't really matter what your experience or even, passion for fishing is. It's just a super cool thing to do. Some people come to the class, they do it, and they say, yep, I checked that off my bucket list. I hate the cold and I hate the snow, but it was fun and I caught some fish. And now I can, show people the pictures and tell them I did it. Other people are like, this is my thing. This is so great. And it's just, a gateway to all kinds of cool fishing experiences down the road where they just, take it wherever they want to take it. And, getting emails from people who took the class 5 years ago, and they're just all over the place, making memories and catching fish through the ice. So that's another one that's just a super fun experience. And I look forward to it every year. So I appreciate you having me on, Jeff. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to people about fishing and let them know about my classes and what we have going on with Tightlines 208. It's been great being on the show, and look forward to reconnecting maybe later this winter or definitely in the spring.
Absolutely. And I think you and I have talked about in the past getting together, doing an ice fishing trip. And I'd love to do that too. But can you believe this is our third season? We're wrapping up our third season. It just seems like yesterday I just started this, and you've been here with us every step of the way, and I've really appreciated it, coming on and talking to the listeners. And I know the people that listen to the show, a lot of them tell me how much they really appreciate it, and they tell me how much they enjoy learning because they're new to fishing. And so thank you, Jordan, for coming on. And you've been a good friend since we met you in that first class. And I'm telling you guys, I'm not just saying this because he comes on. It's a great class. People that have taken the class will tell you, and Jordan's just a kind, gentle person who will lead you through and teach you the things that you need to learn, and never make fun of anybody, and never, look down on anyone because of their whatever skill level. So, Jordan, thank you. The Idaho Fishing Report really appreciates you being on, and I'm grateful to know you as a person.
Likewise. Thanks, brother. And tight lines, everybody.
And he is Jordan Rodriguez, owner and creator of Tightlines 208. Make sure you check him out. He has his website, Instagram. Follow him through the winter. You can read him in his articles as well. Jordan, have a great winter season, and we will talk to you soon.
Okay. Thanks, Jeff.
Do you want to be part of the show? Email us with questions or your fishing report from your last trip. Email general questions to gemstatefishing208@gmail.com. Fish pictures sent to myfish@gemstatefishing.com. And viewer questions to questions@gemstatefishing.com. Yeah, hit us up there. I'd love to get some emails from you, especially those pictures of your fish that you want to show us or where you guys are headed out, and would love to see all of that. Keep up with us over the winter. If there's things that you want to see on next year's show, email me, let me know. If there's things you love, things you hate, I want to hear it. This show is for you. I don't charge you anything for it, so you might as well tell me what you want to see. So, all right, let's get back into our regional update, and we're going to start off over in the Magic Valley with some boat ramp and reservoir level information. Lake Walcott, not too bad, 69% full, with an elevation of 4242. The boat ramp is open. Littlewood down a little bit at 46% full, with an elevation of 5204, but the Littlewood boat ramp is open. Milner there on the Snake, 72% full there. Over in the Treasure Valley market, we've got CJ Strike still at 100% with a 54-foot gauge height. Anderson Ranch is at 84% full. Man, if you want to go hit Anderson Ranch, this is the time. I'll be honest with you, I really thought we were going to see that dip down. They were talking about doing a lot of work on that dam this year, and I don't know if it's been pushed back. I'll have to kind of do some research and find out for you, but Anderson Ranch still sitting pretty good, 84% full with an elevation of 4181. All boat ramps are open. Arrow Rock down to 35% full with an elevation of 3141. Only the high water ramp is currently open there. Lucky Peak. Now you want to talk about low. How low can you go? Well, Lucky Peak's at 11% full with an elevation of 2935. Only the Turner Gulch ramp is still open. Lake Lowell is at 73% full with an elevation of 2526, but be careful. All ramps are closed for the season. That's right. Motorized and non-motorized boating is only allowed April 15th through September 30th. Now, human-powered boats are still allowed on the water 200 yards in front of the upper and lower dams between October 1st and April 14th. The rest of the lake is set aside for migrating and wintering wildlife. So just be mindful of that. While we're talking about some other areas, Oahe, a new one that we've added on this year because of people emailed me and said, hey, we'd love to hear more about Oahe. So here we go. 50% full, not much change there. 2637 is the elevation. Gordon Gulch and Indian Creek are the only ramps that are open at Oahe. All right, up that double nickel to the Cascade area. Cascade sitting at 58% full. We lost another ramp this report with an elevation of 4816. French Creek, Buttercup, Sistra, and Donley City Park are all closed now. So you have about half your ramps that are still open there. Obviously, the main one's still open. Deadwood sitting at 58% full with an elevation of 5311. The Cozy Cove boat ramp is open. And Man Creek, our lowest one of the report, 9% full, single digits. Elevation 2834, only the north ramp is open. Now, folks, if you've ever been to Man Creek, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, let me tell you. They say that north ramp is open. That's a drive down there to get to the bottom. There's not much usable space at the end of that. So just be aware of that. All right, let's head out one more time to the Ore-Ida border, Oregon and Idaho. Snake at Brownlee, which is the only one we really get a report on. I can tell you that Spring Rec over on the Oregon side is no longer available, and Steck Park is no longer available on the Idaho side. If you go to Holcomb, you've only got 2 feet of usable water depth below the ramp. Woodhead is still good, 25 feet below there, so you're still good to go there. And that is your boat ramp and water level information.
Make sure you visit us at gemsafefishing.com for all the links to all the information we provide here. You can also contact us through the site.
Yeah, hit us up there, man. Would love to have you come to the site, say hello to us, sign up. If you're not an insider there, you can sign up there, and you get the report before anybody else does. So you got to sign up for that pretty quickly, and we'll let you know. But you have until next year. But we'll send you updates. We'll also send you updates on special reports that we're doing, as Jordan and I talked about. There's some things that we'll do over the winter months, if you will, and we'll get those out to you. All right, let's talk about stocking. I'm not talking about the ones that go on your feet. I'm talking about the ones that the Idaho Fish and Game puts in the waters. So this week, October 2nd through the 6th, so all of this will have happened by the time you've seen this. Burley Pond over in the Magic Valley is getting about 2,000 fish stocked, and Dog Creek Reservoir is getting about 5,000 fish stocked. This week over in the southwest side, several small ponds seem to be about it. But I wanted to kind of give you a date to circle on your calendar here 10 days from October 6th, on October 16th through the 20th. Arrow Rock, we talked about that earlier. They are getting 9,000 fish put into that reservoir. So that's something you want to keep an eye on, as that's going to be a pretty good time to go do a little bit of fishing out there. All right, let's talk about some fishing tournaments, shall we? The Payette River Bass Masters Club Tournament will be happening Saturday, October 7th and Sunday, October the 8th. They will be at CJ Strike, and they'll be using that Black Sands boat ramp over at the Black Sands Resort. So that is one tournament that's happening this weekend. Another one that's going to be happening is the Mountain Home Hog Hunters, and they're going to be heading all the way out to the Ore-Ida border, headed to Brownlee. That will also be October 7th and October the 8th. They'll be using the Woodhead boat ramp. That's the Mountain Home Hog Hunters. And there's going to be a second one on Brownlee. Going to be a lot of tournaments out there if you're heading to Brownlee this weekend. The Snake Rivers Bass Masters Club Tournament will be holding their tournament on Saturday, October the 7th, also using the Woodhead boat ramp. If you're headed out towards the Magic Valley area, the Mini Cassia Bassers Tournament will be held Saturday, October the 7th, and they're going to be at Walcott State Park at the Walcott Reservoir there. So they'll be using the ramps there at the Walcott State Park. And that is going to be your tournament update.
Hey, you can find us on every social media platform, from Facebook groups, Twitter, or Instagram. Our handle at Idaho_report.
Yeah, make sure you follow us there on that social media. We'd love to have you follow us along. We'll give you updates. Like I said, this is the last episode of the season that we do this, but we'll do more updates as we get through into those fall and winter months. All right, let us talk about that moon phase. Not a good one for this weekend. We have last quarter hit us on October 6th. New moon will be hitting us on October the 14th. That's next Saturday. Apogee is October 9th, and perigee is October 25th. So one last time, I know we talk about this a couple times of the year, but I want to hit you with it one last time when we talk about apogee and perigee. The moon's orbit around the Earth is not round, but elliptical. And at its most distant point, apogee, it's about 252,000 miles away. At its closest position, perigee, the moon is about 233,000 miles away. Now, that doesn't seem like a lot, but it's huge when it comes to fishing and hunting. And some theorists feel that the moon's greater gravitational pull, as much as 20% stronger in the perigee position, means that those peaks at that time create better fishing potential. When it's at its closest, and we had that happen earlier this year, just a couple months ago, we had the supermoon, and it's massively influential on fishing. All right, well, let's talk about some peaks. Friends, it's just not going to be good. I'll tell you right now. Friday, if you catch this late Friday, 7 p.m., barely into the good. Same thing for Saturday, barely in the good on Saturday. That 7 a.m. and p.m. goes away. You get one good one, and that's at 10 o'clock. Same thing on Sunday. Monday, it's going to be in the good, but it's going to be around midnight. So honestly, through the weekend here, it's probably going to be great to get out on the water and recreate. I don't know how good the fishing is going to be, but you know what? It was supposed to be good last weekend, and it stunk. So just be mindful of that. Now, as we start Tuesday and Wednesday, we're going to have a 12:30 a.m. and p.m. good peak. Wednesday, 12:30 a.m. p.m., and then a 7 a.m. p.m. But bear in mind, that's going to be our worst weather days. Now, here's where you really want to start to pay attention. Thursday and Friday of next week, I think is going to be some really good times as we head towards that new moon. Like I said, on Saturday, the October the 14th. Thursday, 1 a.m., 1 p.m., and 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. are going to be your good peak times. Nothing than the excellent. And then Friday, 2 a.m. and p.m. and 7:30 a.m. and p.m. So if you can get out at the break of dawn or as the sun's setting, you can hit those peaks out there in that time. But, yeah, I don't think this weekend's going to be a really good one. So Yeah, it's not going to be really good for that. Oh, one more time with that good riff. I love it. I love it. All right. So, man, I hate to wrap up our last show with this weekend. That's why I talked a little bit about the following weekend because I want to get you into that too. I'm gonna tell you what, friends. As far as fishing goes, it's an F for this weekend. I just don't think it's gonna be good fishing. And again, I could be proven wrong, but just the poor moon phase forecast and those low number of peak times it's just not going to be there. Now, next weekend, I'm going to because the weather's so far out, I don't want to give it an A, but I'm going to give it a B. Watch the weather as we eke towards this new moon. Still, this weekend that we have here, it's going to be a decent weekend to enjoy what could be the last remnants of warm weather. I saw today that we're 5 to 10 degrees above our normal right now. So but yeah, just this weekend, I think it's going to be an F for fishing, but I think it's going to be a decent little weekend to get out on the water and just have a good time or just get out and go hiking, whatever. So that is your grade for the week of October 5th, 2023. Hey, have you ever had an idea for a great podcast but just didn't know how to get started? Well, starting your own podcast is as easy as contacting Good Boy Studios and letting us help you get your great idea out of your head and into your listener's ear. We can teach you how to write, edit, produce, and publish your own podcast, or we can handle all those tasks and you simply show up to record. Contact us today to learn more at goodboystudios.com. That's good, BOI Studios.com. Good Boy Studios can help launch your idea into a reality. All right, my friends. Well, we're putting a wrap on another show here. I talked a little bit about fishing last week, and we went out to CJ Strike, stayed there at the Cottonwood Campground that's hosted by Idaho Power. Big shout out for them they do a really good job of keeping these campgrounds looking nice and usable. And it was deserted. We had a couple of folks around us. I caught one small bass, maybe 6-7 inches. And my mother-in-law, she went fishing with us for the first time. She moved in with us back in March, and she went fishing with us for the first time. But it was fun and interesting to say the least, for sure. But we had a good time, and we got out there and did some fishing and had a good time and sat by the campfire. And honestly, the campfire made up for all of it. And just to get out there and relax. She caught a small crappie, nothing worth keeping. So whenever we go camping, we always plan on cooking fish one night, and but we always take a pack of hot dogs just in case. And I'm glad we did this weekend because we caught nothing worth keeping. But still, a bad day fishing's better than a good day working, I always say. So we had a good time out there. As we wrap this up, some big shout outs here. One to the Idaho Horsemen for being a sponsor for us this year. They have a brand new league. They're going to be in the National Arena League, and Good Boy Studios will be a part of that again in some form or fashion. I can tell you right now that we're going to record a Hard Knocks kind of series with them as they hit their training camp, getting ready for the National Arena League. Thanks to shout out to the Treasure Valley Roller Derby, Beat City Bombers Roller Derby. These two fantastic women organized roller derby teams. They're all nonprofit. Make sure you check them out. You can find them on social media. You can find them on their websites, Treasure Valley Roller Derby and Beat City Bombers. Make sure you check them out. I'll be out there next Saturday. We'll be live streaming that game at the field house there, O'Connor Field House out in Caldwell. If you're inclined to come out there and check that out next October 14th. I want to say thank you to my wife who puts up with me coming out here to this podcast room and doing these reports and missing many nights with her, as this is something I do on the side. And so big shout out to Jocelyn. I love you. Thank you for letting me do this, and I have a good time with it. Shout out to Jordan Rodriguez, man. The guy just comes on here and gives us some of these great tips and advice. Tightlines 208, make sure you check him out. He's got his fish and fillet class coming up. He's got his ice fishing class. You can find him at tightlines208.com. Super nice guy. Like I said, just will do anything for anybody. If you email him, ask him questions, he's not going to charge you any money. He'll respond back to you. You can find a link to his page on our page at gemstatefishing.com. Thank you to the listener for being a part of this show and giving me a reason to do it. Honestly, you listen, you watch, and I just, we couldn't do it without you. So thank you so much for being here with us, and we really appreciate it. You guys are just amazing, and I can't wait for season 4. Listen, we'll be back at the expo again in the spring. I think it's in March. We'll be back there for the sportsman show, the outdoor sportsman show. So make sure you come check us out there. I'm hoping to get the same booth right there between the bathrooms and the beer. That's the best place to be, I think. And little teaser, I'm going to have a special surprise for you at that expo. So make sure you come and check that out. You guys have been amazing. I really appreciate you being here with us, and can't wait to come back next year and do this all again. And thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart. Until next year, I'll see you on the water.
We would like to thank you for listening to the Idaho Fishing Report. You can find us at gemstatefishing.com. Also, connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can also find us on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe and give us a like. Thanks to our sponsors, guests, and experts, but especially you, our listener, for making this show possible. This has been a Good Boy Studios production in association with OMS Multimedia, LLC. Join us next week for another episode of the Idaho Fishing Report. This show is the property of Old Man Studios, LLC, and may not be reproduced, rebroadcast, or retransmitted without the express written consent of Old Man Studios, LLC.